It's time to mind your business with me, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in to find out how to mind your business with BEDC, special guest entrepreneurs, industry experts, and more. Brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda business starts here. So welcome to Mind Your Business.
Thank you very much.
I am your host, Jamillah Lodge, and of course you are Roberta Munden.
That's correct.
Owner of Boho Couture.
Yes.
And thank you so much for bringing us some samples of the lovely blinged out fabulousness that you have. But today we're going to talk a little bit about you, your journey in entrepreneurship, and how do you decide where to get, all of this beautiful items that you have.
Sure.
So what initially inspired you to create Boho Couture?
Boho Couture has been evolving for a long time.
Okay.
We have our first physical location in Bermuda.
Okay.
However, I've been in the fashion furniture business pretty much my entire career, and also in the wholesale side of the business.
Okay.
So being in that industry, you get to find suppliers and really good deals and where does this stuff come from? Mm-hmm. So during COVID, actually, when nobody was shopping and stuff, I found some suppliers in Italy.
Okay.
And I was importing clothing, and I had a little Boho Couture fashion group of friends and family. I would bring it to my house and then show it online and ship it to Halifax and Toronto, from Toronto and all over. Okay. And so I've always loved buying and selling. It's my passion. I've always had a good eye for fashion, I believe. So it sort of started online. But I always wanted to be in the industry, and I feel like my dream has finally come true in Bermuda, that I actually have the physical location to bring it all together.
Right, and it gives people a chance to touch and feel, which I think is really important.
Absolutely.
When you're trying to decide, like, what do I get, how do I get it, to be able to try something on, I think makes a huge difference.
For sure.
So where are you located now?
We are located in St. George's, the beautiful UNESCO World Heritage town, in the King Square. So we are across from where the Bank of Butterfield is.
Okay.
You've got Crown and Anchor on the corner. We're in the middle.
Okay.
So we now got a huge sign that we're going to be putting up that's 6 feet tall. So you will not miss us.
So let's talk a little bit about the name. So Boho Couture, I know couture is like high fashion, and boho is like more eclectic. So how did you arrive at that combination?
Of course. So boho, bohemian, relaxed lifestyle. I've always been an outdoor person my whole life. Always loved the beach. Always loved everything about the beach, the attire and, dressing that up. And couture is that bringing it to the next level. So it's kind of like bringing those linens and those natural fabrics, but adding a little twist to it and adding the accessories like, our bling here that brings it to that next level, and quality.
Okay.
So it's like bohemian, relaxed clothing, very island inspired.
Right.
Because you can wear linen pretty much all year in Bermuda or in the islands. And it's timeless, which is really nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think I love it. And I guess how do you determine which products you're going to bring in, right? Because there's so much. You can get them from everywhere.
Much.
Yeah.
So I work with like over 300 manufacturers in Italy.
Okay.
I have suppliers in Toronto and in the U.S. And I guess my brain's always working. So at night, I'm kind of always on looking at my suppliers, different options. I think the most important thing is finding things that I love, that I think will resonate with the community and our customers, and classic things, and something with a bit of fashion twist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think if I love it and I want to wear it, then that's the main thing.
Okay.
I have to love it. And sometimes I go a little out of the norm and it doesn't always work.
Yes.
So then I try to stick back to, would I wear this? Or can I picture it in the shop? And that's sort of, I always have to, oh my God, I love the cut, the design, the length. It's sort of factoring in all those factors.
So when you purchase things, like you said, they're things that you love, how do you involve the customer kind of to get a sense of, are they on the same page as you?
100%.
Do they love it too?
Yeah, so our customers are so engaged with us. It's really nice. So our customers are our models.
Okay.
So when somebody comes into the shop, they try it on. If they love it, I'm like, can I take your picture for Instagram? Because you are our true customer.
Correct.
And I engage a lot with them. What do you like about it? What you don't like about it? I ask people, what would you like to see more of? A lot of people say just keep doing what you're doing. I think a lot of importance for our success is that we get new shipments every like 3 to 4 weeks during our peak season.
Okay.
And it's always different. And we only bring like 4 to 6 of everything. And Bermudians love that because it's a small island.
Right. You don't want to see
go
somebody
out and see everyone wearing the same dress.
You don't want to see that.
So it's funny because we have a following in that way. When things were really busy and we kept getting shipments, people would call me and say, when's the next shipment? Or we'd send out an email blast and they'd all come because they know it's limited quantity and different every time.
Right.
So that's kind of our force behind our success, is always having new, refreshing products and small quantities of each. So sort of really spreading it out and diversifying what we carry.
And that makes sense, right?
Yeah,
because
for
like
sure.
you said, Bermuda's too small, and last thing you want to do is see somebody walking down the street and
Exactly.
it's like twinsies.
Exactly.
I don't know if
Yeah,
that's a good thing. So let's go back to your store in St. George's.
Yes.
What made you select that area?
Okay, yeah, good question. It was a challenge trying to find a location. Originally we were thinking Hamilton. I don't know if you've had this issue before, but there's so many vacant spaces, but nobody advertises. So you can't actually find out who owns the building, who's renting it. There's not like for rent, for lease signs. So and I'm not a mall person. I have to be outside.
Right. So you can do your own thing. Control your hours, control what you want. Yeah, I get it.
So I started going, and actually was looking at the Linen and Gifts location.
Okay.
Kathy Ferreira,
Yes.
who owned her store, and I got to know her quite well. The timing wasn't right, though, for us to move into that location. So then I just started asking everyone in St. George's, do you know of any spaces for rent? And finally, the King Square, there was a sign in the window. So I'm like, okay, is this meant to be?
Yeah.
We applied, we got accepted, and here we are. And I love it. Like, honestly, we have the ocean in our, when I open the windows, the water is behind me. There's beautiful boats that are docked there from all over the world. Like, what a vibe. Like,
I know.
Blessed. Like every day I go
St.
to work
George's.
and
It's
I am so blessed. Look at where I am.
Yeah.
In the most beautiful place with beautiful people.
And beautiful products.
Yes, exactly. And I love it. I love seeing. And so many people said to me, why would you open a business in St. George's?
Yeah.
Nobody goes to St. George. Well, I think if you build, you have to find your niche. And if you have the right thing, I think they will come.
I think that's a good point that you make when you talk about building your niche.
Yes.
And it sounds like to me that you kind of cultivated who your ideal client was prior to opening the store.
Yes.
So you're bringing in unique products that are unique to your store.
Yes.
So it stands to reason that once you bring them in, they're going to come, right?
Exactly.
Has that been your experience?
It has been. And I mean, some people were saying, well, who's your target market? And I said, Bermuda, because we want to bring in linens. Linens are so important, but we have to keep the price that is affordable for everyone. Everyone's going through tough times around the world.
Yeah.
And we want to make clothing affordable, sustainable. And I think that's the thing, dealing direct with the manufacturers and negotiating our pricing and not inflating it too much so that we appeal to the locals,
Now, talking about your manufacturers, because you mentioned that you bring in a few quantities, right? Which makes sense for Bermuda. But how has that worked with your manufacturers? Because typically, especially on the wholesale side, they're wanting you to do larger orders.
Right.
So how do you navigate that and manage that relationship?
Because each supplier, I think as long as you do a minimum of like 600 to 800 minimum per visit, they're okay with that.
And the minimum is a combination of different things?
Different things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's very good. So you have to buy, like, let's say you pick a top, you may have to get it in 2 or 3 colors, 3 or 4 per. That's fine.
Okay.
So they're working very well with us in that respect, that we don't have to take 20 of one thing.
Because you're like, I don't need 20.
I don't want 20.
I don't want 20.
Exactly.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I think a lot of retailers struggle with is getting the products in.
Right.
Because of the shipping and all of that. and then getting them out because of the shipping. So how have you navigated that?
Yeah, so basically we work with UPS, who are amazing. And because when we do our buys, we'll have like 5 or 6 suppliers all consolidated together to ship.
Okay.
And it works out really well so that maybe we're paying $3 to $5 per item shipping. Even though we're getting it in 4 to 5 days, we don't do the whole shipping on the container and ships. So we do enough that when it lands here, the duty on clothing is only 6%. And because we put a lot, miracle. When I open these boxes, I'm like, how did they fit all that in there? So it makes it affordable that they are putting a lot in one box, and then it works out literally to $4 to $5 an item.
Okay.
Which is excellent.
That is excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's harder. And from Italy, I'm surprised. It's almost cheaper shipping from Italy. It actually is than Canada, which is so much closer.
Right.
It's so weird.
You're like, you would think that it would be a little different.
No,
that's interesting.
That's interesting. So if we could figure out some shipping from Canada to Bermuda cheaper, we'd be doing real well.
I completely understand that. Now, with you being in St. George's now, you're in one of our economic empowerment zones.
Exactly.
So now you would be eligible. I think we have like customs duty deferment.
Ooh.
See, we'll have to make sure that you get that information because it does help, right?
Every bit helps. Absolutely. That would be very helpful.
Yeah.
And maybe with our potential expansion, we might look at the microloan.
Well, I love this. So talk a little bit about that and how so you started out, I guess, during COVID doing things online.
Yes.
So what was that transition like? Like, how did you make decisions on how to expand your product line, and why are you expanding, right?
Sure.
Because, of course, there's costs associated with it.
Yeah, of course. So I think the first thing was moving to Bermuda was very unplanned.
Okay.
I got married in 2022, as I mentioned, and prior to getting married, my husband has 2 daughters. I never had children. And the deal was we had to stay in Ontario because of his children. And I said, well, I've been here for the most of my adult life, so not going anywhere. And at our wedding, his daughters went up and said, so Dad, you've done your job. Go live your life. Do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And I had been visiting Bermuda since 1987. I'm aging myself. And always wanted to live here. Always wanted to live here. But I gave that up in 2009. I said, I'm meant to visit. That's it. And that's fine. And I hadn't been here since 2009, and it was so out of my realm of possibilities. And 2 days after our wedding, my husband came home and said, I just applied for a job in Bermuda. Look at this job. Look at my resume. What do you think? And I was like, you got to be kidding me, right? And I was nervous.
Yeah.
And wasn't sure. I just didn't think, I wasn't sure. Anyway, I said, I'm not excited till you get the job, and I'm not excited till you have a work permit.
Right.
And then I will start packing. Anyway, so here we are, and I was nervous because I really respect Bermuda keeping your jobs for Bermudans.
Yes.
It's a small island.
Right.
And the 40-job blackout list that's on the Bermuda website is my entire career. So I'm like, what am I going to
you're
do?
like, what am I going to do?
You know, I've got my real estate license. I've been in fashion. I've been in furniture. But all of those jobs were blacked out. So I said, oh, my God. And I've never had kids, so I was always a career person.
Right.
And I need to work for my mental health.
I get it.
So it was the really tough year in the beginning, but I knew this is something I wanted to do. It was my passion, and it was finding the right person that wanted to partner with me and then bringing this to reality. I already had the suppliers. I already had all of the background work, but it was making it a reality and opening an actual physical store.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Yes.
And they say dreams don't come true.
They sure do. You got to believe.
You have to believe.
Yes.
I love that story.
Well, thank you.
So you're here, this place where you always wanted to be.
It's like, my best friend in Bermuda who moved to the UK before we moved here, when it all worked out, I said, first of all, I can't believe I'm moving to Bermuda and you don't live there.
And you're leaving.
Secondly, I can't believe I'm moving to Bermuda. She said, the universe is good.
Yeah.
It's your time.
Yeah.
And I said, I didn't even ask for it. And she
it
said,
happened.
Yeah, the universe is giving it to you now.
You know how they say manifestation?
Exactly.
You put it out
So
into
true.
the universe.
Absolutely.
And then it comes to fruition.
Yes.
So I love that. And I love the fact that you are pursuing something that you've always been passionate about.
100%.
Because sometimes people would let like you said, you looked at the jobs and they were all blacked out, and you were like, well, I guess this is the end.
Right.
But you took that and created an opportunity for yourself.
Right.
Something you always wanted to do.
Exactly. And while incorporating Bermudians too, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about the biggest challenge, because I mean, they sound big.
Yeah.
Finding a location, trying to identify a partner so that you could start this business, but you overcame those.
Yes.
Was there anything that you faced that you were like, how in the world am I going to get this done?
Yeah.
Who do I need to call?
Right. And I called a lot of people. I think it was navigating, in a different country.
Yeah.
And all the policies and procedures to open a business and the work permit, So we opened the business in January, we established it, and then it was like, okay, next we have to get me a work permit. And that was uncertain too, and I understand that.
Right.
So it was the unknown, and I think it took like 12 weeks, which is the norm.
Yeah.
At that time, and it was like, every day, oh my God, what if
Am
it
I
doesn't
going to
work
get it? Yeah.
out?
What if it doesn't work?
You know, so that was a challenge. And then just crossing all our T's and on dots and, making sure that we had everything legally done the right way to move forward, and getting all the permits and everything. And thank God, God is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time.
Exactly.
So, okay, you overcame that. You're here. You are selling and you're doing the thing. You have your client base.
Yes.
Are you still supporting those clients who are outside of Bermuda?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So not only are Bermudians, so we have so many visitors that came last year on cruise ships as well. And I had people from New York, Chicago, like all over the U.S. saying, we can't find linen like this. You need to open a store in New York. I'm like, New York is the fashion hub of...
Right. What do you mean you can't find it?
So I ended up shipping. I ship stuff to people in the States.
Oh, wow.
Cashmere, linen, and then our Boho founder group of ladies. I was just in Toronto for the big show and went shopping for them and shipped some stuff to them. Okay. And now they're saying, well, we want to buy from Bermuda. So what I'm going to do is start a live Instagram.
Okay.
Whereby when we get a new shipment, we're going to show it on Instagram, possibly Facebook, and then people who are also in Bermuda that are in Somerset or wherever they are and they want it but they can't get to the shop, we can actually hold it for them and have a purchase and either deliver or, lead into Hamilton or whatever. So we need to move forward with that. We're ready now.
So talk to me about how you... Because this is strategy, right?
Yeah.
How do you decide how to move forward like that? So you've opened the actual retail location. So you're like, well, Bermuda isn't so big, so come down and get it. But to me, it appears as if you're forward thinking in terms of how do I ensure that the people who want my goods are able to get it.
Exactly.
I'm doing delivery. I'm making sure that they have access to these products. What's your process for coming up or laying this out, or is it just happenstance?
No, actually, during COVID, there was some retailers in Toronto as well that were so brilliant. And so I'm not starting with the idea.
Right.
But they were so brilliant because their stores were closed and they were getting in new shipments and they were basically doing live Instagram feeds. And then people were like, oh, messaging, first come, first serve. Oh my God, I love that white shirt. Oh my God. And then they would take the orders in order of the messaging.
Okay.
And they would ship it out and you've got a new outfit. And, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to do that since we opened and it was just, people were like, oh, do you have a website?
Right.
Well, we kind of don't because every time we get new products, we get limited amounts.
Right.
And for me to take pictures and post it,
it's gone by the time people... Okay.
So if we do the Instagram thing, it's instant. And then if people are watching us and they say, oh, I like that.
I want to buy that.
I can say, you were number one. It's yours. And we put it aside and figure out the rest. Contact them afterwards.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if in terms of like supply and stock like that, because now you have the actual retail store.
Yes.
So you got to have stuff on the shelves.
Oh, yes.
So coupled with the Instagram buying,
yes,
does it give you the opportunity to increase what you are ordering or the types of items that you're bringing in?
And I found actually some new suppliers too. So we have a supplier from Turkey.
Oh,
gorgeous, like raw edge. I love Turkish.
Bring it out. Let's see.
Okay. Well, this one isn't from Turkey.
Oh, this
but
one's not the Turkey one. Okay.
This is stunning. So this is one of a kind. This is like bringing the couture into boho couture.
Cute.
How gorgeous is this?
It's beautiful.
It's handmade by a mother-daughter. They're Spanish.
Right.
And every piece is different. So they have skirts, they have kimonos.
And it's like this beautiful, thin,
it's
lightweight
whimsical,
cotton,
it's romantic,
and with like the lace and ribbons.
Oh, imagine cut match, or you're at a nice resort or at a little beach party, and you want to add a little whimsical, romantic,
razzle dazzle,
sexy.
I know.
Oh,
I always get in trouble when products come in.
Oh.
I'm like, where's my wallet?
Okay,
this
look.
one right here, I think is my favorite.
This resonates. I mean, this is gorgeous.
It's like a kind of like a cape or
It's
shawl.
a cape or a shawl or a scarf. You can actually
wrap
tie
it around. That's really, really
so
pretty.
So the pieces are so versatile.
Yeah.
So we have that. We have a line from Turkey. We have a new supplier from Italy. I actually have 2 buying agents now, which is fantastic because I just had one. And when you talk about supply chain, I think it was in August or July when we had a few cruise ships come. And literally, like, this was a funny thing. I sent out an email blast to all of the people that joined the list and said, we just got a new cut match shipment. And we brought in cut match colors.
Yeah, it's nice.
Then that was Friday. Saturday, we opened at 10. It was like a zoo. Like, literally, I would say we sold probably 50 to 60% of the inventory.
Wow.
And I'm contacting my agent and saying, I need stuff right away. And she said, I can't book you in for like 10 days from now. Wow. And I'm like, that's
not going to work,
that's
right?
Not going to. And she was saying I was one of her biggest clients all of a sudden. So I was like, okay, I need to not be ever in this position again.
Right.
So now I have 2 agents, which is amazing. So I can go back and forth between them, have a limited number of more manufacturers, and then some suppliers from Canada as well. So it helps me balance my needs.
Right.
Right. And
so looking at the products,
yes,
they're beautiful. And like you said, they're mother-daughter duo. They're creating these things themselves. How important is sustainability when you're identifying and selecting vendors to work with?
So important. So we mainly work with linen, 100% linen, 100% cotton, silk. And it's so important because it's sustainable. It's great breathable fabric, right? We need that. And it's not like, slave labor.
Right.
So when we talk about, some of these very large fashion online companies, the product isn't sustainable. It is poor labor. Like, these poor people are working, they get paid by the piece, not the hour.
Right.
And it's polluting a lot of these countries with their water. There's dumps with waste of fabric. Like, it's bad. So we work with people that it's made in Italy.
Right.
It's not made in a place where it's bad labor.
Right.
And the quality is good. And I have pieces from some of this stuff from 8 to 10 years ago.
Wow.
That, they're classics.
Yeah.
You can bring them out and change the accessories, put something over it, and they last, which is so important. You don't want disposable
No, you
clothing.
don't. And I think with fast fashion and all of the negativity surrounding that, rightfully so, because it is throwaway clothing. That's basically what it is.
It's disposable. And how many times have we ordered something online and they say, oh, here's the size chart.
Right.
Right? I'm a large, and it comes in, it's literally...
It's this big.
Yeah,
and you're like, in what world?
Yeah. This does not match my measurements. You know what I mean? So I don't even order that anymore because it's like, what's the point? It never. I always like the experience of touching, feeling, trying it on, making sure. That's part of the excitement of the buy is actually being in person and trying it on.
And it also gives you the opportunity, like you said earlier, to have a conversation with your customer and ask, like, what do you like about it?
Exactly.
Would you consider something like this?
Exactly.
So you're getting that direct that direct feedback.
Yeah.
Okay. So you talked a little bit about who you're working with. You have the new buyer. Who else is on your team that actually makes the magic happen?
Okay, so first I have to give my love to Jane, my partner, Jane Roberts. Without her, we wouldn't be Boho Couture in Bermuda.
Okay.
She believed in my vision. It's funny, we're both born in March, same year, and like soul sister.
Okay.
So I adore her, and she believed in my vision very quickly. Yes, there is a need for affordable, long sustainable clothing in Bermuda. I'm on your side. What do we need to do?
Right.
So she's my partner. Okay. Love her to death. The next is Aileen, who is kind of the manager, if you will. She has another job, but she works so hard helping this whole thing come together. She takes ownership, which is really nice. So she's always saying, don't worry, I gotcha.
Right.
And there's days where like I'll leave and I'm too tired to vacuum. She's in the next morning, it's done.
Right.
I don't have to tell her.
That's wonderful.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
she sees beyond me. So she takes ownership. She's amazing with customers, and she also brings in jewelry.
Ah.
So she's got a great eye too. So she helps with the buying as well. So, and her energy is amazing. And so then we have Kat, who I call my little powerhouse. She's about 5'1", maybe weighs 100 pounds, and she is amazing. Like I could have a box that's 100 pounds. Oh, I can lift that, and I'm like, okay.
Like
and her customer service is amazing. She just goes above and beyond, which is wonderful. And then we have Dorothy, who sort of started over Christmas. She's a retired school teacher principal.
Okay.
Local lady who just loves fashion. She was like one of my first customers coming in, so she loves it too. And our whole culture is really like fashion for the free spirited.
Yeah.
So it's all, we're relaxed. We don't want, like, we have fun at work. We have fun with our customers. We have fun together, and it's kind of, we don't want negative energy.
Yeah,
We just enjoy, we love what we do.
Right.
And when you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work.
No, you're not working, right? That's what they say.
And I have people literally like Dr. Shavaz, who like works at Money Mart, comes in every day to show me his suit. And we have Tana, who works at the nursing home, comes in with her dog to get a treat every day. So it's kind of like a community.
Oh, I love that.
We have people that just pop in to say hi. Which is wonderful.
It's important, extremely important.
Yes.
And I think the fact that your team has gelled so cohesively is really great. And I keep saying how, because I know that some of the challenge is finding the person that is going to fit, that is going to get it, that understands the culture and what you're trying to communicate. So how did you identify these people?
Okay, good question. So Alin actually was one of my customers. She came in 2 or 3 times. She's a fashionista too. And we started chatting about so many things, menopause, life, Bermuda. And I said, you seem to know so many people. I desperately need like a part-time person that's reliable, trustworthy, And she said, oh, let me put it out there. Let me feel it. And she literally came back the next day and said, it's me. I want the job. And I said, oh my God, are you kidding me? Are you serious? And she had to go back to her other job and make sure. And she got approval. And that's how she happened.
That is awesome.
And then Kat is Jane, my partner's, one of her daughter's best friends.
Okay.
So that's how that worked. And Dorothy just from coming in. And
that
saying,
is great.
I need to work. Can you help me? I said, come on in.
And it's worked out. I love it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's important, like, just listening to you. You mentioned energy. You know what I mean? And just feeling comfortable and putting that positive energy out there. You get it back in return.
Yes.
But I also think it's important to be open.
Yes.
Right?
For sure. 100%. 100%. You have to be open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you can receive, you know what I mean? Because how did you know that the people were going to walk in that you needed to complete this team?
And it was like so meant to be. Do you know what I mean?
It sounds so.
It really was. Like Alin's now my family. It's so funny. My mom, her name is Ada, but we went on a Uber Vita cruise. And we all had a drink, and she goes, oh, my God, you look like Nanny Faye from this TV show. So now she calls my mom Nanny Faye, and it's like her, she's like, that's my thing. Nanny Faye, So she's actually become part of our family, which is really amazing.
Look at you making all these connections. I love it. No, I mean, it sounds like it was meant to be from the start, right?
Yeah,
and so everything is working out, which
100%.
Is lovely.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about how you collaborate. You mentioned, some of the other maybe shop owners and how they
Yes.
come in. And what is that like? Because there's always this discussion around collaboration versus competition. And,
Right.
I don't want anybody to take my stuff.
Yes.
So what is your position on that?
Yeah,
Collaboration versus competition.
I love collaboration and competition. I think it's important to have, more businesses, for an example, in St. George's. Like when I lived in Toronto and I sold furniture to retailers, designers, home builders, there was like one street called Kennedy Road, and there was probably 12 furniture stores, right? So if someone's looking for furniture, they would go to Kennedy Road.
Right.
And everyone would have different, though. And sometimes there's resistance to competition, but I think the more opportunities we have in St. George's, the more reason people will come.
I agree.
If you have 3 or 4 retail shops carrying clothing and they all have something different, of course people are going, think of St. George's. We have, things we love, Boho Couture, Dreamscapes, there's so many opportunities, Frangipani. So that is great. I think bring it on. If somebody wants to open another store in St. George's, we welcome that because we have another reason to come to St. George's because you can fill your day and spend the day there, have lunch at the White Horse or Wahoo or,
Exactly.
Munchies.
Right. Visit long story short.
Exactly. And we do want to do more collaboration.
Yeah.
So there's a yoga studio that opened. We'd like to do something with them. We'd like to do,
the perfumery is down there.
The perfumery, and she's Canadian, Isabel. So there's lots to come.
I love that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, because believe it or not, we're already.
Oh my God.
I know, it goes so fast.
Yes.
Especially when you're having fun. But let's talk a little bit about like the future for Boho Couture.
Sure.
What do you envision? And where are you along that journey?
Okay, so we potentially have something very exciting in the works. We are looking for expansion.
Okay.
And the reason being is, as you know, I was been in furniture as well. And I had a furniture store in Halifax called the London Loft in 2011 to 2013.
Okay.
And I think there is some opportunity for home decor. Like well-priced, kind of that, bringing the boho theme.
Yeah.
Right?
So along the same lines, but for home goods.
For home decor and maybe some art and some really interesting, like mirrors and this sort of thing. So we have put in a proposal for a space.
Okay.
We should know soon, fingers crossed. And if that is the case, we will be doing that starting in April.
That is so exciting. And then you get to come back and tell us about that.
I certainly will. I would love to.
Okay, I would love that too.
And if we do it, we'll have sort of it'll be something by Boho Couture. It'll have another name.
Right.
But we will make sure we have lots of marketing and presence and have a grand opening.
I love that.
And you'll have to come.
I will be thrilled.
Okay, for sure.
It sounds exciting. I mean, this is you realizing something that you have always done and been passionate about it. And then we in Bermuda are benefiting from that passion.
And I'm benefiting of living in paradise.
Yes. Sometimes I wake up and I'm just like driving on my way. I'm just like, wow.
Oh, I know.
I think we take it for granted sometimes.
Honestly, no. And when I just went to Toronto and it was minus 14 the last day, and I was like, came back and I'm like, I can put it.
Thank God, right?
God. I don't take it for granted at all. I feel so blessed every day to be part of this community and this beautiful island, and it's such a special place.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
So I'm going to let you close with any like final words of inspiration for someone who's considering, especially retail, because it can be hard, especially in Bermuda.
Yes.
Any words of inspiration for those who might be considering their journey?
If you have a passion for it, that's the main thing. You have to love what you do. So if you have a passion, you believe in yourself, and you find the product that you think is going to be viable, go for it. There is lots of opportunity. And, we talked a little bit about manifesting, and I have a few quotes. One is, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams.
I love that.
And I always have that somewhere because it's so important. And the other one is, if it can be imagined, it can be enacted. Seeing is believing. So you really, for me, I kept picturing myself, doing this. Like you have to manifest it. You have to put it out to the universe. The secret has been around for years. It's like, believe in it. If you believe in it and you really want to make it happen, it's there.
Yeah.
You just have to go for it. And don't listen to naysayers.
No,
Just believe in your heart that this is what. And if it's what you love, it doesn't feel like work.
it doesn't feel like work. And I think if you put it out there and you believe in yourself, your tribe will find you and help you make it a reality.
I have met so many beautiful people, all ages. Like I just posted on Instagram yesterday, Lucille, 102 years old, came into my store.
What?
No cane. Okay, walking on her own, a little fashionista, and I was like, oh my God, you are so cute. And she loved the store. She's like, I came all the way from Somerset, and I didn't have my wallet, but I'll be back. And I was like, well, I'm giving you a gift because you made it in here and you're 102.
That.
So
102.
102 and like healthy and sharp.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we can only aspire to be like Miss Lucille.
Oh my God, adorable. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you so much.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Thank you.
I have enjoyed this conversation. I'm excited about the opportunities for the expansion.
Yes.
Please do come back and give us an update once that happens. And I just, again, continue to do what you're doing. It's obvious that you enjoy it. And it's obvious that we are benefiting from the fact that you enjoy doing what you're doing.
Thank you. And I can't wait to work more with the BEDC on our future
Yes,
plans.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
Please do take advantage of the products that we have.
I definitely will.
So we've minded our business today, haven't we?
Did.
And I just want to remind you that if you don't mind your business, who will?
That's it. We got to.
Thanks for tuning in to Mind Your Business with me, your host, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. because if you don't mind your business, who will? Mind Your Business is brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.